Hi everyone, welcome to CTF Security and welcome to another video on steganography. In this video, we're going to be demonstrating the working principle of steganography using a program called Steghide. We're going to be taking a look at various flags of the Steghide program, ranging from embedding a file to extracting a file, setting compressional mode, setting encryption mode, and various other command on the Steghide program. But before we get to that, let's take a look at the insights of steganography itself. So the steganography is a practice of representing information within another message or physical object in such a manner that the presence of that information is not visible to human inspection. A computer file or message or image or video can be concealed within another file or message. The word steganography comes from a Greek word stegnographia, which combines the two words steganos, which means covered or concealed, or graphia, which means writing. The advantage of steganography over cryptography is that the intended secret message does not attract attention to itself. Plainly, visible encrypted message, no matter how unbreakable they are, arouse the interest and may in themselves be incriminating in country in which encryption is illegal. So guys, without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back to the channel. So now that we've established what steganography is and the methodology behind steganography, now we're going to be seeing how this is done. Firstly, we're going to be having two sets of files. One is the cover file and the other is the embedded file. For this illustration, I have a Worldcup picture. You can see it right here on the screen. And this is going to be our cover file, that is the file our adversaries are going to be seeing. And we also have the second one, which is a Python script. So I'll just go to the properties, and from the properties you can see that we have this as a Python script. So I'm going to be hiding. Okay, let's see the content of this Python script. So this is just a code to auto download a particular link using the wget module. You can see it here, import library. We use the system modules and other part of the code right here. So I'm just going to close this. Now the next thing is we need to get our Steghide program. In order to get our Steghide program, so I'll just simply launch my browser and just type Steghide. So merely typing Steghide, we just go with the first link. And this takes us to steghide.sourceforge.net. So from this interface here, we can navigate to the download. From the download, you can find our Windows package. So we're going to be using a window for this steganography practical. So I'm going to be downloading the Windows package. So you just need to click on it. So once you click on it, this redirects you. Okay, so it redirects you to another page where your download will start in less than 3 seconds. So you just allow this to download and we continue from there. So I'm just going to be stopping this download because I have my Steghide file already. The output of this download is going to be a zip file. Okay, I just downloaded it again. So I'm just going to cancel and we'll head to the location I downloaded the file to. After successful download, you're going to have a file like this, which is a zip file. So what you need to do is to use any tool to unzip this file. In this case, I'm going to be using 7-zip. So I'll click on extract file. So after clicking on extract file, I'm going to click on OK in order to extract this file. Now we have another copy of the file in form of folder. So I can do away with this and just delete the file. Now we have our folder. So what I'm going to do is to launch this in the command line. So I'm just going to fire up my CMD and navigate to the location I have this folder. So let's go with CD desktop. changing directory to desktop, and we can list the directories we have under the desktop. So we have our embedded file, we have our cover file, we have the Steghide folder, and we have another folder on this directory. So what I'm going to do is to cd into the Steghide. So I'll just use tab to autocomplete that. Okay, so let's see the content of the Steghide folder. So we have another Steghide folder inside this folder. So I'll just enter that folder. Auto tab to complete, dir, and we get the list of all the content within the Steghide folder. So if this is the first time you're using this tool, we have a guide which can be called manual.pdf in this document. So I'll just navigate to it using the GUI. Let's navigate to desktop. We'll navigate to Steghide. Inside the Steghide, and we have the readme or the manual, I beg your pardon. So I'll right click on that and open with my browser, and we can see the content right here. So you can go through the manual in order to guide you through some possible command that you can do on the Steghide program. So I'm just going to be closing this. We don't need this. So I'll just close that and head back to my CMD command line. So I'm just going to clear this, and now we have dir. Now we have the Steghide.exe, which is the Steghide executable file we can use to run our program. So in order to embed a document, what we're going to do is specify the application Steghide.exe. We're going to use the embed command, and we're going to use the cover file. So let's specify the embedded file first. Our embedded file is going to be, let's get the location. The location is going to be the C drive inside the users. I can easily just grab this. Ctrl C to copy, delete this and paste. So we have it inside the desktop, and the name of the file is autodownload.py, which is our embedded file. So the next thing is we're going to specify our cover file -cf, and we're going to paste this same location, and we specify our file, which is Worldcup 2022.jpg. So we have specified our cover file, our embedded file. The next thing is to specify our password. So let's use 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 as our password for this embedding of file. So I'm just going to click on OK, and we get a message embedding the directory to the file and in the directory to the file. So we have this is telling us that we have successfully embedded this particular file called autodownload.py inside the Worldcup 2022.jpg. So I can go ahead and go to the GUI, go to the desktop, and delete my auto download. So just hold down the shift and delete permanently. Click on yes. Now we have just the Worldcup 2022, which is our cover file. You can see that the quality of this picture still remain intact, as if we do not have any content within this file. So what I'm going to do is to close this, and we can see how we can find information about this specific file to dictate if we have a particular document embedded in the file. So we're going to move back to our command line. So let's clear this. We use the command Steghide. We use info, and we specify the path to the document, which is the local disk inside the users folder, and the name of the account is the root, the desktop, and the file name, which is world Worldcup 2022.jpg, and we press the enter key. So this gives us information talking about the document, the format, which is the JPEG format, the size of the document, and we have the Steghide asking us, do you want to get information about the embedded data? So of course, yes. So click on the Y button and we have entered the passphrase. So not forgetting we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is our passphrase. So you just type that and press the enter key. So we get a message telling us that we have a file called autodownload.py inside this document called Worldcup 2022.jpg. Okay, good. Size of this embedded data is 1.0 kilobytes, and the encryption used is this particular encryption, and we have the compressed status happens to be yes, meaning that the file is being compressed. So now that we have enough information, we know that we can extract this particular embedded file out of this Worldcup 2022.jpg. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to use the command Steghide, which is the application. We use the command extract. Then we use the command SF to select file. So we're selecting file. What is the file we're selecting? We're selecting the full part for our Worldcup document. So we're going to just use the /Worldcup 2022.jpg, and we press the enter key. So this request for a passphrase. So I'm just going to enter the passphrase, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and press the enter key. So we have wrote extracted data to auto-download.py. Now, if we dir, hoping that we have, I beg your pardon, if you move to the directory we embedded the file from, which is a desktop, we do not have our files here. So where your file is going to be located is the current directory you run the document on. And if we look vividly, we run the command from the Steghide folder. So I'm just going to dir from this point here, and we can locate our auto download file right here. So our file has been extracted into the Steghide folder. So in order to confirm this from the GUI, I'm just going to navigate to the Steghide, and we can find our auto download document right here. So you can see this is how we can extract, find information about an embedded data, and how we can embed data inside another data. Now this comes to what kind of file format does Steghide accept. So if we do a simple Google search and we said Steghide file formats, okay, file format not supported. So you get vividly information about this, telling you that Steghide support JPEG. So this is actually restricting the cover file, that is the document you want to hide. I beg your pardon. The document the adversaries is going to be seeing is not restricting the embedded file. It's actually restricting the cover file. So we have limitation on cover files. Steghide is telling us that it should be between a JPEG, a BMP document, a WAV, and audio format. So if you're trying to use a document such as PNG as a cover file, this will not be accepted by the Steghide program. We have BMP, GIF, and JPEG supported by the program. So aside from merely embedding, finding information about the cover file, and extracting information from the cover file, there are other things we can do with the Steghide program. So I'm just going to outline some of the useful things we can do with the Steghide program. Rather than using the default encryption, we can also specify a different encryption. We can set compression mode and the likes. So I'm just going to be talking about compression mode first. We can set compression mode in between the range of 1 to 9, which means that the best speed, 1 is actually the best speed, and 9 means the best compression. Depending on the size of the document you have, you might want to use in between these numbers. Just have it in mind that if you're using 1, it is faster. If you're using 9, it is slower, but it is a best means of compression. So in order to compress a data using a compression mode, we specify the Z flag, the lowercase z flag. So in order to do this, I'm just going to head to the terminal and let's clear this. Okay, so we have our document. In order to do that, let's bring back the last command. So when we are embedding our document, instead of specifying the just the EF and the CF alone, we can add the compression mode, use the dash C, sorry, this Z, and specify the compression mode. So if 5 is the best option for you, that's okay. Just 5, and you just hit the enter key to compress this in level 5 compression mode. So another thing you can also do is you can specify no compression at all. If you want to specify no compression at all, what you need to do is to specify the capital letter Z flag on your command. So in order to do this, you just have to change this to dash Z. So and you run this. If you run this, it's just going to embed this file with no compression mode. So we're actually getting this error because the file auto download.py can no longer be on our desktop because we've actually deleted this. So to solve that problem, we can go to the Steghide here. We can cut this program here, this file here, and paste it on the same directory we have here. Let's paste it here and rerun that command. So we can see that we have it as done. And when we find information about the document using the Steghide.exe, and we'll specify the info and the full path to our cover file, which is this. We copy and we paste. So we want to find information about the embedded data. So I'm just going to click on the Y. The passphrase is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can see that the compression mode here is no, because we specify no compression mode. Another thing you can also do is encryption. So you can specify a certain type of encryption during embedding of the document. But in order for you to check the list of all the supported encryption supported by Steghide, you use the command Steghide info, encryption info. So if you go back to the command and you type Steghide enc info, I beg your pardon, Steghide.exe enc info. So you get the list of all the supported encryption used by the Steghide. So the default encryption used, if you did not specify it, a specific type of encryption, is this encryption right here. And we might decide to change our encryption mode. Let's say I want to use blowfish as my encryption mode. So all I have to do is specify the E flag and specify a type of encryption I want. So in this scenario, let's say I'm encrypting with specify the E flag and I specify blowfish. Press the enter key, and you can see that our embedding is done. And if we find the information about this particular Worldcup 2022.jpg, and we click on white for yes, our passphrase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and press the enter key, and you can see that our encryption mode for embedding this document in our cover file is blowfish. And because we didn't specify the capital letter Z on our encryption command, in our embedding command, we have our compress mode set to yes. So the last thing I want to point out is the overwrite. You can also use the F flag to overwrite an existing file. So let's say on the same directory you are extracting this document. If you have that same document with that exact name, you can specify the dash F in order to overwrite the previous file with the new extracted document. But lastly, what I want to point out is the it has to do with direction issue. So most people have experienced issues with Steghide because of they fail to specify the appropriate location to their file. Now, something you notice, if you have your folder, you have your Steghide in, or probably your account name has spaces in between it. I'll just give you an illustration. So um let's say my directory to my system is the C drive. You can actually get this and just edit this. So let's say we want to embed a file called test.py, and I'll just paste this. And let's say my account name is CTF space computer. Okay, CTF, I beg your pardon, CTF sec. Okay, and we have it, or probably we saved it inside the document, and we have another document called let's say it is called let's say my steganography, and we have our test.py. Now, if you're familiar with locations on how to specify location, you know that this is our local disk, these are our users where we contain on the list of the users, and CTF sec happens to be one of the users in this account. But the issue is we have a space in between the name, and we can also see that inside the document we have another folder called my Steganography where we have our test.py file located. So in this scenario, because we have spaces in between the path to that file test.py, in order to run our command, we need to what? To specify the location in quotes. So once you specify the code, this sees this part as a single part. If we run this code directly without putting a code, this will see this C drive users slash CTF as another part. It will see this as another part and this as another part. So we putting it in code, we're specifying that the program should actually see the full part as a single part, and this will allow your program execute properly. Okay, so I know you're wondering if this can be this stealthy. So how do we discover if a file has been embedded inside our document? So this is very easy. We can actually do this in different way. The first one I'm going to point out is first we need to check the size of the two document. Now, this is the Worldcup image that we have embedded the auto download file inside, and this is the original Worldcup image. Now, if you take a look at the size, you can see that this is 1.10 MB, and you can see that this is let's see, this is 1.02, and if I open the document, you see that the output of the document, there's no difference, and you open the other one also, we see that they are equally the same. So how do we know that these two documents are two different documents? So what we can do is to calculate the checksum of the file, and in order to do that, we're going to calculate the MD5 hash of these two files. So if the both file matches, it means that the document integrity still remain intact. But if the two hashes varies, that means that the file has been altered in some way. So in order to do this, I'm just going to launch my CyberChef, and we're going to upload these two documents each to find the MD5 checksum of each of them. So I'm just going to paste the MD5 here, and let's go with the original file first. So I'm just going to drag this and put it right here. This is the MD5 hash equivalent of this file, so I'm just to copy it and paste it right here. So let's calculate for the file that we have another file embedded in it. I'll go back, which is on the desktop, And I'll just drag this. I can remove this first. Just drag this here, and we have the checksum of the file. So I'll just copy this and paste it. So you can see that these two files are different files. So you should be mindful of the document you have in your system. Always try to calculate hashes of documents in order to prove integrity of the file. So guys, that will be all on steganography for today. Please ensure you like, you subscribe and share. See you next time.